All right, so in this video, we are going to draw our still life on our canvas. All right, so you may be looking at an image on your computer screen or your phone, or maybe you have a printout. So make sure you have chosen, I think I provided you 10 reference images of 10 different still lifes in the folder. So you have to choose one of those still lifes because that's what you're going to choose to paint. Okay, you're not going to make your own still life. You have to choose one of the 10 that I provided you. So this is the one that I printed off for mine. I think it was number 10, actually. So this is what I'm going to draw on my canvas. And so then what you can already see is my canvas has a color on it, okay? It's not a white canvas. And I did that so that as I'm painting my objects, the background will contrast with these objects. I don't want to have a white canvas because a lot of the objects in this still life that you guys will choose are going to have this large white object, possibly. So I want to make it easier on myself so that I have already a color on my canvas so that it's not going to be blending in with this white object. So how you're going to do that is basically pick a color, maybe add a little bit of white to it to soften it a little bit, and then take one of your bigger brushes and do a thin coat of one color all across your canvas. Try to think about what colors you do choose for your canvas color. I didn't choose a dark blue because I have this dark blue ornament. I didn't choose a red because I do have this red cup here. So I kind of wanted to go with like a teal color for my background. Don't pick a color that's too dark. Like I said, try to mix a little bit of white with it to kind of soften a little bit so it's not so dark. Definitely don't pick the raw umber for your background or the burnt sienna because you're going to use the burnt sienna in the underpainting. I wouldn't do yellow. Make a nice light green or a light blue or a pink of some color, but don't go too dark. So it'll be a thin coat of paint for your canvas color. All right, so then once it dries, it shouldn't take too long to dry because hopefully you don't glop on too much paint. So then once it dries, then you're going to draw your objects on your canvas. All right, I'm going to kind of move this picture to where I can see it a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to start with the ornament first. It's the closest thing to me, and it's a circle. And so we're going to sketch that on here. Hopefully you can see my lines. So yeah, and also think about how you want to orient your canvas. I have mine as a portrait here. You could have yours as a landscape, turn it horizontally. It just kind of depends on the objects that are in your still life. But do think about that. And then when I draw my objects, you're going to have a decent sized canvas. Don't have your objects all hovering down here at the bottom of your canvas. Kind of bring them up a little bit. I mean, obviously not too far up to where they're like here, but kind of start it here, maybe a few inches at the bottom, because then that'll be the space that they're sitting on. But don't have them all touching the bottom of your canvas. That's definitely a no-no. Give it some space, and then your objects. All right, so my ornament is in the center. So I'm probably going to be pressing a little bit harder on here than I would like so that you guys can actually see my lines. Oh, man. So there's my ornament. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and do the picture. And so when I keep moving to my next objects, I need to kind of keep looking. Are these two things touching? Are they overlapping? Yes, they are. Okay. Some of your still lifes may have space between your objects. Okay. Over here, see how close these two objects are? I don't have space in between mine. Okay. So you need to think about that. And then also the ornament is the lowest on my picture on this plane. So see how I can draw a line here. So he's lowest. And then I have the picture just a little bit up. And then my little coffee cups are just a little bit up from that. So that's also a good thing to pay attention because they're not all on the same plane or on the same level. Okay? So, and then if they're overlapping or touching, look at where this picture is coming out of my ornament. I'm going to try and replicate that on my canvas. Where is it coming out? How is it touching it? Where is it touching here? You can even draw on your picture if you have a printout. And then I'm going to look, how wide is my picture in comparison to my ornament? So watch. I'm going to take the width of my ornament. See how I take the tip of my pencil here and my thumb here to get that measurement? And then I'm going to move it across. And it's going to go 1. So it's like 1.5 ornaments. So I'm going to take that here. So I have 1.5. So I'm going to take this. That was my ornament that I drew. Do 1, and my second one goes off. So hopefully I fit my handle over here. I may have to adjust my ornament. So then I also want to know how high this picture is in comparison to my ornament, or if you have something else in your still life in comparison to the ornament or the cup. So I take this width again, and then see how I turn my pencil, and I start my finger here at the middle of the ornament, and I go up 1, almost 2. So 1, almost 2 is how high my ornament is. So then what I'm going to do here, I take the width of my ornament on my pencil, do like so, and go 1, almost 2, or 2. Hopefully you can see that, 1, 2. So according to my actual picture, my picture does not go up all the way to 2. So I'm going to look at where it's coming out of my ornament, how it's curving. It ends before that second mark. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at where is this part of my mug in relation to this mark from earlier. So I'm going to go up to there. It dips down. Where does the bottom of my picture come out of my ornament? Unfortunately, my handle was a little bit off. So one way I could fix that would be to restart and make my ornament a little bit smaller so that then my picture would be a little bit smaller, but I'm just going to keep going. All right, so what's my picture about. This might grow a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to do my coffee cups. So again, you know, how far out do they go in comparison to my ornament? So again, I get that measurement of my ornament. I just move it across. So they fit inside one measurement. So there's my measurement. The handles come a little bit out past it, but they're going to fit primarily inside one measurement. So now what I'll do is I'll get my ornament measurement from here, move it across one, okay? And then how high up are they in relation to my ornament? So again, I take that measurement and then I go up, and they're like 1 and a little bit over. So then I take this again, do what I just did on my paper, 1 and a little bit over. Hopefully you can see that. So somehow my little coffee cups are going to kind of fit in this little area. All right, so I'm going to draw the green one first. And I'm going to look at where he's coming out of that ornament. And remember, he's behind it.
Remember, process materials and ideas inside. Also, if you haven't joined books of plastic and AP, do so. It's on the page under AP. My school of defense. My kids are doing that. Usually you'll have to tell
And so then see how my red cup is inside my green one and it was tilted a little bit?
And then once I know for sure the students are and I can bring it down.
I'm trying to get the detail
That's the weirdness.
of the handles.
No, Mr. Smith is next door.
I'm just trying to get a rough sketch.
I know.
And then when you do this, don't forget about drawing in your shadows and where those are coming out of. So see where it's coming out of my ornament right here? So I'm going to draw that. And where does it connect? It's going to connecting up into my picture because my light source was over here to the top right. And then there's this shadow from my picture. There's this one from the little green mug. And then, okay, so we do also have a shadow here from the ornament on your picture. So we do want to include that because that's a really dark area. You could even draw in, you know, these darker values or these shadows if you want, because then when you start to do your underpainting, then you'll already kind of have those guidelines. You don't have to. I kind of like to kind of give me at least a start. And so then, so all these pictures were taken, you know, up against a white canvas. Okay, so then they're all going to have like shadows that are on this canvas back here. Do not include the one that's back here on this canvas, okay? Because technically we want to kind of pretend they're just like sitting on a table. So definitely don't include the shadows that are like hitting this canvas, just the ones that are hitting the table and that are like down here, okay? All right, so there is the drawing of the still life on the canvas.